identify the right maturity, and harvest promptly. Harvesting is the last field-level activity, and care must be taken to ensure that harvesting is done on the right time, depending on the target market, to maintain and enhance the quality of onion bulbs. Farmers need to identify the right maturity and harvest promptly. The main signs of maturity in onions include bulking and exposure of bulbs, cracking of soil around the plant, drying of leaf tips, basal leaves beginning to drop, and entire leaves wither and drop. There are two stages of harvesting: harvesting for immediate sale and harvesting where storage is intended. Harvesting for immediate sale, usually done around 70 to 80 days after transplanting, when the plants would have produced appreciable bulb sizes of 70 grams to 90 grams if adequate nutrients were applied and all other good practices observed. At this stage, the plants will still be growing actively without showing signs of maturity. However, if the market price is good and any further delay could fetch low prices in the market, the bulbs could be harvested for immediate sale. If the bulbs are to be stored, probably due to low prices on the market, to control the supply of onion on the market, or for other personal reasons, the bulbs are allowed up to 90 to 100 days when the basal leaves begin to drop to the extent that the entire leaves wither and drop. Water application is also withdrawn within this period to ensure that the bulbs are well cured on the field. Also, the leaves of the onion are pushed down to avoid any pest and disease infestation and infection respectively. At the point where the entire leaves wither and drop, the harvesting should not be delayed because any further delay will expose the bulbs to direct sunlight and this could affect its storage. The process of harvesting. The harvesting of onion could be done with hand and or tiny hoe. Early harvesting when the leaves are still green or partially dried could be done by hand pulling. However, with late harvesting when the leaves are dried and up to 80% of the tops have fallen, when the bulbs are matured with thin necks, harvesting is done mainly with a tiny hoe, supported occasionally with hand pulling. Usually, the harvesting is done by men. The men are followed by women who pick the bulbs with the leaves attached and gather them under a shade, usually under a tree on the farm. For security, convenience, and other reasons, some farmers also send their harvested onion to the house using donkey carts, motorcycles, tractors, or pickup vehicles and place them under a shade. The produce gathered under shade are occasionally spread to avoid heat buildup. With support from family, friends, and hired labor, the leaves are cut off the bulbs with sharp knives. The leaves are cut at the neck region, leaving few centimeters, 1 to 2 centimeters of the leaves on the bulb. This is to prevent exposing the fresh tissues of the bulb to secondary infections and excessive drying of the bulb. Post-harvest quality management practices. Even when the onions are uprooted from the mother plants, they are still living organisms and undergo metabolic processes like transpiration, respiration, and sprouting. Maintaining conditions close to optimum to reduce these metabolic activities is thus important. Attaining a long and marketable shelf life for onions, a function of good pre-harvest practices, is dependent on factors such as cultivar, soil conditions, field management practices, plant protection regulations, and harvesting conditions. Quality indices. Matured bulbs should have good firmness and compactness of fleshy scales. Bulb size, shape, and color are important to consumers. Aromatic characteristics, strong or mild, depend on the consumer and the intended method of use, such as for spicing, cooking, or for salads. For whatever purpose it may be used for, the bulb should be free of mechanical or insect damage, decay, sun-scald injury, greening of fleshy scales, sprouting, bruising, or any other defects. Curing. Withdraw watering from 5 to 10 days to allow for curing. The process of curing helps in the formation of outer scaly leaves, which reduces loss of water of the other internal leaves. Curing of harvested bulbs under shade at 27 to 33 degrees Celsius from 5 to 10 days is often practiced in the Upper East region and is the ideal for promoting the shelf life of harvested onions. Proper handling is critical. Avoid trampling, overloading, and vibration during handling to reduce physical damage. Handling and packaging. Careful handling of mechanical equipment for harvesting, packing, and transporting is critical to reducing mechanical injury. Mechanical injury increases metabolic disorders and quality deterioration. When the quality is affected, it also affects the market of onion bulbs. Transportation. Currently, large cargo trucks without temperature, gas, humidity, and vibration controls are used to cart fresh produce to urban markets. Overall improvement in transportation access is required in Ghana. Preparing onion for storage. The following should be observed in preparing onion for storage. Remove all foreign materials and damaged bulbs. Grade the bulbs according to size and quality, and where applicable, shape and color. Store on raised platform or rafters under dry and well-ventilated area. Spread out loosely on a thin layer to allow ventilation. Observe clean storeroom sanitation. Maintain a well-ventilated structure. Use sea sand, sawdust, rice bran, and corn cobs as damage. Avoid contact spread of bulb rot by sorting out bruised, rotten, and sprouted bulbs regularly. Ensure there is no leakage of roof. Bi-weekly to monthly monitoring and sorting out of rotten and infested bulbs. Monitor market price and dispose of onions immediately if quality deterioration is fast.